Hello friends, in this video we'll talk about the client configuration file, the pg_hpa.com file. Usually when a client wants to connect to the server should know which client has the rights to connect to the server. This file, the pg_hpa.com, will tell the server which client has the right to connect to the server. So let's start diving. It also resides in the data directory. Sorry, PG actually, not PPG. Okay, this section we will work on it. The IPv4, since we are using the IPv4, not IPv6. This is for the local, the first line. For the local, by default it's available. Now this line we need to add for any client that want to connect to the server. We should tell who's this client want to connect. So if we have one client, it means one line. More than one client, more than one lines. The host SSL starts is the type of the connection. Now host SSL means any local or TCP/IP remote client can connect. So both the local or the remote TCP/IP client can connect once you do host SSL, and this means that the connection is secure. Now second thing is that the database name, which database this user or this client want to connect to. So you have to mention the name of the database. The second thing is the client name. You give a name to that client who want to connect to your server. If you add a plus, in here, that means this is a group of clients under this name. Otherwise it's just one client. Now here is the domain, or actually it's the address. If you add 0000/0, that means all IPv4 IP addresses can connect to the server. Any IPv4 can connect to the server. Now this is the method of, or the password encryption. Usually when you use a PostgreSQL installation from a precompiled package, we would use the scram SHA-256 because this one is more it's recommended by PostgreSQL manuals that you use this one because it's more standard way of password protection. But I have noticed that if I use this one with the customized PostgreSQL server that is fully encrypted, this method cannot work. The server will not work. So the only one way to use with the customized PostgreSQL server installation from a source code that is fully encrypted a cluster is to use the MD5. If you use the other one, it will not work. The server will not start. But in a regular PostgreSQL installation from a precompiled package, it will work. That one will work. The scram-SHA-256. So here we will use the MD5 as password protection. Here is the important thing. The client cert equal 1. Now any client want to connect to the server. If you add this line, client cert equal 1, then the server will request from the client to present a client certificate so that the client can authenticate it. If the client doesn't present a client certificate to the server, the client won't be able to connect to the server, and the server will reject this request of connection. So when you add it as 1, the server will request. If you put it 0, the server will not request certificate from the client. So in our case, we need an SSL connection, a complete SSL connection, bidirectional authentication. Client authenticate the server, server authenticate the client. So we have to make the client cert equal to 1. Now let's save this file. Now this is the way how you can configure the client authentication file, the pg_hpa.conf. Each client should have one line of code like this one. So let's save, Ctrl X, yes. Now let's start the server so that the new configuration takes effect, and we will see. Okay, this is the restart. Server started all over again, and the new configuration of the client authentication file have been taken effect, and that client, that group of client now will be able to connect securely to the server, and the server will request a client certificate from the client to present so that the client can connect to the server. Okay, this is the way how you configure the client authentication file. Thank you very much.